And none of us are doing this to get rich, but this is our job, and we need to be able to afford to live where we work.
Educators in Asheville and Buncombe County want a pay increase. Several teachers and advocates gathered in downtown Asheville today for a rally.
The demand for more pay is getting support with more than 2,000 signatures on a petition. News 13's Taylor Thompson walks us through why educators say this issue is urgent.
Barely getting by. That's how those here at the rally describe what educators have been going through for far too long. Now they're calling for an immediate increase in pay. Stand up, fight back! Monday's rally included educators from both Buncombe County and Asheville City schools, parents, and community allies.
Currently, all of our educators are really struggling to put food on the table. Many are working 2 or 3 jobs just to get by, and many are below the living wage.
Just Economics in Buncombe County recently released what the living wage here should be.
$20.10 for a single person living in Asheville, and our classified staff are well below that at about $16 and some change.
They're calling on both boards of education and county commissioners to update the wage to the current cost of living.
We are in a situation in Asheville and Buncombe County where the pay for working in schools is just outstripping the cost of living in our community. What happens now is going to determine our community for decades to come as the children in our schools now grow up. The education they are getting in school today is going to affect them for the rest of their lives.
Our needs are more critical than ever. We're bleeding educators out of the classroom, off the buses, out of the cafeteria.
In addition to being educators, we hug children and love them and help them have good nutrition, and we also act as nurses and confidants and encouragers.
It's time that teachers start speaking up and let their voices be heard. We're the ones in the classroom, we're the ones doing the field work. I work a full career and I can't pay off any of my debts and my loans, and that's not okay.
The school boards know how important this is, the county commissioners know how important this is, and so this is really our moment for us all to come together and make it happen.
And educators say that the timing of this rally was not a coincidence. Buncombe County commissioners meet Tuesday night, and they're hoping that higher teacher pay will be on their minds.
Critical staffing issues at Buncombe County's 911 call center are starting to impact emergency response times. As News 13's Andrew James reports, county leaders are trying to find ways to address the staffing shortage as the call volume goes up.
Right now, Buncombe County is having to use off-duty first responders to keep the 911 call center staffed. County commissioners will consider approving crisis pay this week to retain current employees.
The entire public safety system starts with the 911 center.
The first responders. That's how Buncombe County leaders describe the important work of 911 telecommunicators, a team facing a 42% vacancy rate currently.
We have the 5th highest call volume for 911 centers in the state of North Carolina, despite being only the 8th largest county.
A high number of openings coupled with an increasing call volume is making for a difficult situation and impacting the county's response times.
For our priority fire and EMS calls, or those calls, we really want to be dispatching within 64 seconds. Where we are currently is at 3 minutes and 31 seconds.
To deal with the staffing shortages, Buncombe County is now relying on off-duty first responders to try to meet minimum staffing standards, as well as offering double pay for employees willing to pick up additional shifts. When we look at what you all are doing to keep the center staffed right now, is this sustainable, how it's being staffed at this point?
It is not, but that's why we're taking these approaches.
This week, county commissioners will consider approving crisis pay in an effort to retain current employees as the county works to fill openings. County staff are also working on strategies to address non-emergency call volume, bring in contracted support, and increase EMS capacity.
We have some incredible staff in the 911 center. They're working really hard, and we can't lose that level of knowledge and that level of experience.
And if you'd like more information about the crisis pay or the openings right now at the 911 call center, just look for this story at WLOS.com.
A Mountain representative is once again calling for partisan municipal elections, this time for 2 of our western counties.
News 13's Rex Hodge reports on his rationale and some of the pushback that he's getting from town leaders. Representative Mark Pless is calling for partisan elections in the Haywood County towns of Waynesville, Maggie Valley, Canton, and Clyde, and also the Madison County towns of Marshall, Mars Hill, and Hot Springs. The 118th District Republican says listing a candidate's political affiliation is an identifying factor for the voter.
At the core of every person decides which party they affiliate with, and it doesn't matter if you want to be a Democrat or a Republican or an independent. You have certain core beliefs, and people need to know what those core beliefs are whenever they go to the ballot box.
Pless submitted a similar bill last year for Haywood County towns. It didn't pass. The municipal mayors then and now are opposed to partisan elections. But Pless is trying again, this time with Madison towns too. He says knowing party affiliation is empowering to residents.
You're going to create some enthusiasm. You're going to create some interest.
Especially, Pless says, for new people just getting to know local politicians.
They don't know who these people are.
The mayor of Hot Springs says town elections are more about local issues like roads, water, and sewer.
I really don't think that you can tell how someone believes on the issues just by the way they're registered.
Abby Norton says partisanship shouldn't come into play.
If it goes partisan, we'll have to have primaries, and I think that's not necessary.
What do you say about that?
Just because the towns have never had a primary doesn't mean that we're not set up for it at the state level.
The town of Mars Hill sending a resolution to the General Assembly opposing partisan municipal elections, emphasizing local control over local issues without influence of national or statewide political folly. Pless is committed, however.
People who want to participate in the voting process need the tools to participate.
The bill remains in committee, Pless expecting it to reach the House floor this week or next. The bill is in committee now, and Pless expects the partisan municipal elections bill to make it to the House floor later this week or next week.